WVON.
The views expressed on our programs are not necessarily those of WVON, Midway Broadcasting Corporation, or our participating sponsors.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Every day you're walking by and I can see how you shine. Here I am alone with nothing but a dream that you are mine. Just exactly what I'll do, I don't know, baby, but I gotta find a way to breathe. Tell me what I gotta do to get to your house. Tell me where I gotta go to be with you. Tell me what I gotta say to speak to your heart. Tell me what I need to know tonight.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The Audio Genius.
Get in on the conversation with Rufus Williams and the Morning Show at 591-1690. We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Good morning, and welcome to Wednesday. It is the 13th of May, the year 2026. It's the Rufus Williams Show, and I'm Rufus Williams, and as always, I'm thrilled, delighted, and truly excited to be here with you this morning. The team is all here. Annette's in the studio, Tives is in the control room, Mamie and BJ are online. Everybody's here. We'll chat in just a minute, but first, I've got a couple guests on the line with something important that we need to talk about as we lean deeper into Health and Wellness Month. Childhood nearsightedness, myopia, is on the rise, and experts say it's more than just needing glasses. It's a progressive condition that can worsen over time and affect long-term eye health. The good news, there are now proven ways to help slow it down, including options like MySight One Day. Joining us now with what parents need to know are Dr. Damaris Raymondi, pediatric optometrist, and Dr. Coralys Vega, pediatrician. Dr. Raymondi, Dr. Vega, good morning and welcome to WVON.
Good morning.
Man, that was in perfect harmony. Very good. You guys have been practicing.
Yeah.
Dr. Vega, let's start with the basics. What exactly is myopia, and why are doctors increasingly concerned about how it progresses in children?
Well, myopia, also known as nearsightedness, is a very common vision condition where objects that are close going to be seen clearly, but the objects that are far is going to be seen blurry. It happens because the eyeball is going to grow very long, or the cornea can be too curved. It can be diagnosed during a routine pediatric care with your pediatrician, and also can be parents complain that the kids is blinking too much or have to be too close to watch the television or the computer. And it's very important to be identified and treated, because if not, it's going to affect the child learning in school, and it's going to affect even the sports, because they cannot follow instructions. So it's very important to be diagnosed and treated.
So, Dr. Raymondi, why does early intervention matter, and what should parents know about the long-term risks that come with high myopia?
Well, the most important thing with intervention is to start as soon as possible. As Dr. Vega was mentioning, myopia is when the eyeball grows too long, too quickly. Imagine an eyeball that is growing and stretching out and thinning. That can lead to things like retinal detachment, glaucoma, myopic maculopathy. all of which can lead to vision loss. And fortunately, we have treatments.
Well, before we get to the treatments, why is this becoming a greater issue now for children? Is it more diagnosis, or is this something that's been there all along?
I think we're noticing it a lot more now because with the rise of screens and more time indoors, that's been a huge issue. How children grow up now is not how we grew up. It's completely different. So that's what we're noticing a lot. What do you notice, Dr. Vega?
Yeah, I think it's because also we have also more tools for diagnosis earlier and catch those, so we can get more early intervention with the kids.
So it's both of those things. Let's talk about some of these innovative treatments that can help, especially for active children. And also some of the things are that parents may be able to do to try and prevent it in the first place.
So MySight is the #1 contact lens for kids, and it is the only FDA-approved option to protect children's vision from getting worse. In the past, we used to only have regular glasses and regular contacts. Those just help the child see the board. MySight contacts allow the child to see the board, and it helps slow down the eyeball from growing too quickly. It's effective and it works.
Dr. Vega, for parents that are concerned, what else can they be doing?
It's very important to identify the problem and start having treatment as soon as possible, going to the optometry for further evaluation. Some parents, they get very frustrated with the glasses because they get lost or they get broken, and they say, oh, he can see well, I'm not going to bother anymore. But it's very important to know that this is a condition and should be treated.
Now, I know you both are doctors, so this may be a different department, but are these things typically covered by insurance, contacts and eye exams for children?
Eye exams are, but usually insurance doesn't tend to cover things that are preventative. So that's where we are right now. Hopefully things change in the future, but as I said, we got to start treatment as soon as possible.
Very good. Where can we go for more information?
Head on over to mysight.com and ask your local eye doctor about myopia.
Sounds good. MISIGHT, mysight.com for more information. Dr. Vega, Dr. Raymondi, thank you both so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, be well. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
South Chicago isn't just a neighborhood, it's a community full of promise. That's why Fifth Third Bank is investing in its future through our neighborhood program. We're working alongside local leaders, small businesses, and residents to create jobs, expand home ownership, and build inclusive infrastructure. Because when South Chicago thrives, we all thrive. This is Banking a Fifth Third Better. Learn more about our community investments at 53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria J. Brown Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption and stitching free. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV+, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
Video gambling terminals aren't owned by us. They're owned by out-of-state corporations that have never invested in our neighborhoods or our families. They take the money, we take the hit. These machines kill union jobs and drain pension funds for first responders. When these machines move in, crime goes up, break-ins rise. Our community pays the price. We deserve good union jobs, safer streets, and real investments that stay here and build something lasting. Tell City Council, repeal video gambling terminals. Paid for by Neighborhoods Safety First Association.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying for it. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Hey everybody, this is Kendall Moore, the Kendall Moore Show, getting you from your work week to your weekend each and every Friday night from 6 until 9 p.m. I get you from your work week to your weekend. Church, tabernacle.
Kendall Moore, radio for the next generation on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON.
This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum, from cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
To a 24-minute start from 95th Street into downtown. Getting to the Rhine along the Bishop Ford, already 17 minutes in from I-80-94. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, heavier at 20 minutes in from I-80. We're seeing a few breaks right around 111th Street, then slow all the way in. DuSable Lakeshore Drive northbound activated early this morning, now a 19-minute trip. That trip from Hollywood to Monroe, right now, no significant delays. If you're on the Stevenson, you're looking at 50 minutes in from I-355 to DuSable Drive 40 traveling out. The Eisenhower already nearly an hour from Thorndale to the Burn Circle. That outbound trip just about 50 minutes. And the Kennedy, a 45-minute start from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, a little heavy for this time of morning, 43 minutes. Taking a look at our weather, pretty cloudy today. The National Weather Service says we're headed to a daytime high of around 60, pretty mild throughout the day, going down to 45 tonight. We're already at 55 in Markham, 55 at Midway, and 55 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. Who went to break early? Rufus Williams. That's who did it. Take note. Titus, we have to talk about, there's some tough times in the NBA yesterday with Jason Collins and Brandon Clark. We need to talk about those. But I want to make sure I get to this part, which is really, really critical for us here. And in that, Chicago Public Schools is now projecting a $732 million budget deficit for next year.
Yeah, and the way you said it is like, wah, wah. I mean, here we are, and it is just so mounting because just over the last year, we've seen so many things happening with Chicago public schools, and now with this deficit, and this right here may end up being the result of some teacher positions on the chopping block, which would lead to larger class sizes, which is another snowball effect, because you better believe if we see larger class sizes, we're going to see, some more issues about needing funds to pump into that. And this all comes after, last year we had that whole collective bargaining process that they went through that resulted in raises for teachers. And so it's just a lot going on with the schools. And the mayor, I believe he's going to speak about it. He wants to turn to Springfield for help, which is great, because I don't think there's any money left from homeowners to pump into, adding to taxes right now, especially with the economy, gas prices, and just everything. And everybody is overtapped, overwhelmed. I just don't know where the money's going to come from. The mayor is talking about leaning heavily on big corporations and, what he calls the ultra wealthy. And that's the only place I can see where money would come from. But this is it's a tragedy.
When I was the president of the school board, it seemed like everybody came down to have a conversation with us about something. There was this one guy, Derek Harris, who came down pretty regularly, and we talk about funding for the schools, and Derek would always say CPS does not have a funding problem. CPS has a spending problem. At that time, there were 420,000 students in the system. Now the number is significantly less. It's around 300, down about 100,000 students from back then. The budget is $10 billion today versus $6.6 billion then. Yes, it was some years ago. Yes, there has been inflation, but we also have a lot of buildings that are not well occupied, not anywhere near its capacity. And there were a lot of things that were done during the pandemic where there was some additional money that came in. You just mentioned appropriately the rising labor costs. There hasn't been a lot of increased funding from the state or certainly not the feds to help our schools. So there's got to be something that happens, which, to your point, they're talking about impacting school staffing, particularly reducing some teaching positions and potentially increasing class sizes. But there's some other things that really should be thought of. There's an alarm at the gate. We have a lot going on in our schools. Mentioning this budget, we've got a change in leadership. One, leadership at the administrative level with a new CEO coming in and Dr. King. And also this year, we have 21 members who will be elected to the school board. 10 are already there. Another 10 will be elected, and a president will be elected. So an entirely changed composition of governance. And there's just so much to be done and so much to be talked about. We won't get into it deeper here, other than recognizing that this is an issue that's coming up. The board is required to have a balanced budget by the end of August. So they've got a lot to figure out between now and then. This is not a surprise. This was known that it was coming from a year ago, may have been known for longer than that. But there's a clear alarm at the gate, and some things need to be discussed and dealt with on some real levels. It's also, as I mentioned, the elected school board means the mayor won't have any control over schools anymore. And so while he'll still be responsible because this is the biggest entity in the city, you don't have any control over it. So there's just, this is a really difficult time for children and families and the school system to get through all of that's going on right now. We'll have to see, engage, and figure out what's happening. But needless to say, we'll spend a fair amount of time on all of this because there's a lot that needs to be ferreted out as we figure out where we're going as a district. So stay tuned. But right now, that's the big news, and it's not. There's nothing at all good about it in any way, shape, or form. Titus, or before I get to the others, still in the schools, there's a gentleman named Leonard Kennebrew. Leonard has been on the show here with me. Leonard is a former principal in Chicago Public Schools. He was a principal at Simeon High School. He was a principal at Clemente, and has done a number of other things within education. Leonard passed yesterday, and a relatively young man, I know his cousin. I didn't know it was his cousin until recently, but his cousin let me know that he passed. He had recently been diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, and dealing with that and diabetes has been difficult. So to all those, to his family, to his loved ones, to all those within the system and all those whose lives he impacted, because principals do that. We're sending out prayers and condolences to all of them on the loss of Leonard Kennebrew. So Titus, first yesterday we hear about Brandon Clark, who played for the Grizzlies, 29 years old. They have not given the cause of death with him. And then later we hear about Jason Collins, 47 years old. Jason Collins was the first outwardly gay player in the NBA, covered on Sports Illustrated. Jason Collins had a twin who also played in the NBA. They played at Stanford. But Jason came out as gay. He died from a condition called glioblastoma, which is brain cancer, at 47 years old.
Yeah, so I was with Arturo when we were trying to get ideas and topics ready for the show on Friday. And when the news came down about Brandon Clark, I was just in shock because I'm like, this is a relatively young man. I mean, 29 years old, prime his career, watched him play basketball this past season. Was hoping that if he was on the trading block, the Bulls would try to make an offer because I thought he was a great power forward and a great player, developing into his own great player. And just hearing his death yesterday kind of shook me a little bit because I'm just like, wow, like, I wonder what caused it. And I hope everything's okay with him and his family. I mean, I don't really know what to say about it. I'm just more so in shocked about him. And then Jason Collins, I remember when he first came out and said he was diagnosed with stage 4 brain cancer and said that he was going to fight it to the very end, and he did. And just hearing about his passing yesterday, it was another shock to me as well. Because, 47 years old. And I was thinking about my brother as well yesterday. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know how his brother, because like you say, he has a twin brother, Josh Collins. And I'm like, man, I don't know how I could live my life without my twin brother. So it just put things in perspective that way of just not taking life for granted and, just wishing well to the families. But it's just such a heartbreaking thing for both of the families.
Yeah, and so many things, Brandon, they did not disclose the cause of death. He's 29 years old, as you mentioned, still playing, and he had been arrested recently. There were concerns about he was arrested for drugs and traffic citations when running from the police. So don't know anything yet. Everything anybody would say would be speculation, but there's just a lot there, particularly when you lose a young person. Young athlete in that way. It's just a lot. And Jason Collins was just there still have not been a lot of men who've come out and said that they were gay and playing professional sports. It's still a challenge within the space. He did actually open up a lot of other people to deal with things that they had not otherwise dealt with, including our very own Tim Hardaway, who had said some things that were challenging about gay people. And as a result of what was happening with Jason Collins, he stood strong in support of him and has become more of an advocate of people in this space. So he was certainly courageous in doing such. But 47 is young, and this diagnosis of cancer is just really, really difficult. So to all those who are fighting it, keep fighting. And to those who we've lost as a result, may you rest in peace, and we will pray for your family. Let's find out from Annette what else is going on in the news. When we come back, Karen Freeman-Wilson is going to join us. She's doing the Woodstock report today, and we've got a couple of other things to chat with her about while she's here. We'll be back right after this.
A mild day in Chicago with temperatures expected to remain in the 60s. Good morning. I'm in Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Chicago Public Schools is faced with some tough choices related to the budget, which shows a $732 million deficit. This comes as lower enrollment, and according to reports, teaching positions may end up on the chopping block. Later this morning, the city's Board of Education is set to call on state lawmakers for help. Mayor Brandon Johnson says he's turning to Springfield for help as well. Well, health officials are now investigating a possible case of hantavirus here in Illinois. WVON's Logan Page has more.
Details remain limited, but the case comes amid broader monitoring of the rare virus following recent outbreaks elsewhere. Authorities have not confirmed how the person may have been exposed or their current condition. Officials are continuing to assess the situation and provide updates as the investigation develops. Logan Page, R News Now, WVON 1690 AM.
Health officials say this case is not linked to the cruise ship outbreak. And according to doctors, this particular strain of the hantavirus does not spread person to person and says the risk of contracting it is low. Well, apparently 8% of people on electronic monitoring in Cook County are AWOL. That's according to a new report from the state's attorney's office. According to the report, more than 300,000 people are in the program, with nearly 250 accused offenders right now out of compliance. This report comes after several violent incidents involving defendants on electronic monitoring, such as Alfonso Talley, who's accused of shooting and killing Chicago police officer John Bartholomew and critically wounding his partner at Swedish Hospital last month. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 7:33.
This Juneteenth, the Obama Presidential Center opens to the world on Chicago's South Side. The ancestors are proud. We're WVON.
Hey Chicago, it's Henry Cheatham, your Magnolia Blues man. The Chicago Blues Fest is back and WVON is bringing the soul of the city with it. Join your favorite WVON personalities June 5th through the 7th at Millennium Park for this event. Friday night, we're celebrating 55 years of Alligator Records with tribute to Coco Taylor, Lonnie Brooks, Hound Dog Taylor, and Chris Stone, Kingfish Ingram. Saturday, we're bringing 75 years of Chicago blues to the main stage, featuring Chicago's own Billy Branch, Kenny Neal, and Ronnie Baker Brooks. And we'll close out the weekend on Sunday with the legendary Taj Mahal and their Phantom Blues Band. A special tribute to women in blues featuring Lynn Jordan and the Shivers, Melody Angel, and Deetra Bar. And keep listening for a chance to win an exclusive VIP Blues Fest experience. For more information, visit WVON.com/events. Brought to you by Mayor Brandon Johnson and DKs.
With your help, the Illinois Lottery generated $784 million for education last year. Play all your favorite Illinois Lottery games today to help raise even more. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 or older to play. Game odds are available at IllinoisLottery.com.
Primary care that's completely you. OSF Complete Care 55 Plus is personalized primary care for adults 55 and older living with ongoing health conditions. Now accepting patients in Evergreen Park. OSFhealthcare.org/CC55.
Hey fam, what does a healed Chicago look like? For a lot of us, healing has to include reparations for those in power to make amends for the centuries of harm committed against Black people in this country. We deserve a city that invests in us, and we have the power to build it. Join us Saturday, May 30th at the Big Payback People's Assembly with equity and transformation and the movement for Black lives, where we'll be digging into the real questions. What do reparations look like in our communities? And how do we organize to win what we are owed? Come be a part of it on Saturday, May 30th, 11 a.m. at Alt Space, located at 5645 West Corcoran Place. We'll have food, childcare, and real community connection. We built this country. It's time for a full accounting. Let's take back what's ours. Register today at peoplespower.info. That's peoplespower.info. We'll see you there.
You gotta get ready for the big payback. The big payback.
Hey, it's Cleopatra Draper. Join me for the Midday Show weekdays at 9 a.m. where we'll sip and spill all the tea. Do you want it hot or cold? Either way, we're serving up the flavor of the day. Weekdays at 9 a.m. right here on the station giving you what's now and what's next. 1690 WVON.
Maternal mortality, access to quality care, postpartum support. This Saturday on the Community Health Focus Hour, host Dr. Dorianne Miller will spotlight women's health and maternal health challenges in the Southland. Infant health and health disparities affecting mothers and babies will also be discussed. Hear from health experts, advocates, and community leaders working to create healthier outcomes and stronger families. Listen on WVON and Facebook Live. The Community Health Focus Hour, Saturdays at 1 p.m., powered by the Urban Health Initiative of U Chicago Medicine at the forefront.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Minutes from 95th Street into downtown. The Bishop 4, heavier as well. Now 20 minutes from I-80-94. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial still just about 20 in from I-80. Heavy approaching 111th Street, still stop and go all the way in. If you're on DuSable Lakeshore Drive, things just bumped up there. Now a 20-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson. Hollywood to Monroe, still no significant delays. If you're on the Stevenson, nearly an hour from I-355 to DuSable Drive 40 traveling out, just about an hour as well along the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. That outbound trip still 50. And the Kennedy and from O'Hare to downtown, a 45-minute trip. Getting to the airport slightly slower, now 45 minutes. Cloudy skies. The National Weather Service says we're going to cap out somewhere around 60 degrees today. Pretty mild. Tonight, 45. Currently, it's 54 at Midway. 54 in South Shore, and 54 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. Happy to have my next guest join. We've got so many things to talk about in so little time, but always happy to be joined by the president of the Chicago Urban League, Freeman-Wilson. Karen, good morning and welcome back to WVON.
Good morning, Council. How are you today?
I have so many things to talk to you about. There's so much going on, but we're going to stay focused on the things we're supposed to talk about this morning.
Yes, sir. We have to this morning. And appreciate the opportunity to talk to you about this important information on the Woodstock report. Woodstock is a vital partner to the Chicago Urban League, or we are a partner to them, but they are doing incredible work in the community, and we just see that through one of their reports about the result of their payday lending bill, or not the payday lending, the interest cap bill. So that's what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, they clearly are doing great work because they bring us great guests every week to talk about these things, and you being right there at the top of the list. So let's talk about this, the financial state of Illinoisans, particularly as it relates to lending. Illinois capped consumer loans, very much including payday loans, at 36% APR in 2021. A recent Woodstock report shows that this cap is especially popular among former payday loan borrowers. Karen, how have you seen the exit of payday lenders from Illinois impact communities?
The great news about the exit of payday lenders is that Illinois residents have saved over $1 billion. Or they've saved an estimated $663.9 million on those high-cost loans. The other thing that is good about the exit is that, you know, it was predicted, well, if you don't have this option, that Illinoisans won't be able to borrow money, that you're really closing off a valuable opportunity. That just has not been the case. Prior to the payday lenders leaving, they were borrowing, folks were borrowing $1 billion and paying exorbitant interest rates up to 400%. Now they're borrowing $1.4 billion, but the interest rate is capped at 36%. That's good news. That's a win. That's more money in people's pockets. And you and I both know that more money in your pocket in this era means that, at least you're not spending that money on payday lending, because we know that gas and food and everything else has gone up.
Indeed. And the 36% is no bargain, but it's so much better than what it had been. And to your point, the money goes out, and it just, so many people were caught up in continuing to pay and never, ever being able to catch up with the exorbitant.
Well, you would never pay it off.
Never, ever pay
it
off.
At 400%. So you could borrow $200 thinking, okay, when I get paid, I'll give it back. But with that interest rate, it was literally financial sharecropping.
Right. And it was all impacting the communities that could least afford that.
Of course.
So
of course it was.
Predatory in so many ways. Advocates have also been working on a bill that would address this predatory small business lending. Research shows small businesses lose over $1 million a day to non-transparent loans. HB 744 would have addressed this by requiring lenders to simply disclose the APR on their loans. The bill garnered significantly more support this year, but still not enough to pass and become law. Karen, what would you tell our listeners and any policymakers who might be listening as to the importance of passing this bill?
Well, Rufus, it's important to understand, and I think we all know, that small businesses are the backbone of this community. Every day when I go into the office, I go down 47th Street. What do I see? Small businesses all up and down that corridor, all up and down the 79th Street corridor, all up and down 63rd Street. And when you don't protect those businesses from the same predatory lending, and the issue is not that you're capping the rates for small businesses. The only thing this would have done was add transparency. And, it seems to me that if you do business with a person, you want to make sure that folks understand what the terms of the agreement are. That's one of the first things we learn in law school, right? The meeting of the minds. So you want to make sure everybody understands that everyone is of the same mind regarding the transaction. But how can that happen if there is no transparency in lending? And so just like consumers were losing with the payday loans, now we know that small businesses are losing with the effort or the failure of transparency in the loans that they take off, just trying to continue to stay in business, trying to continue to employ people, trying to be a vital part of this community. And what we know about small businesses is that not only are they the lifeblood in terms of the revenue that they bring, but they are the employers. They are the folks who support Little League and other youth sports. They are the folks who are the philanthropists in the community. And if we don't protect them, then we are not protecting the community.
Means so much as you broke it down right there. My next question for you is too big to cover before the break. It's just too big. Let's do that. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, more with Karen Freeman-Wilson. She's here on the Woodstock Report, and we've got a few other things to chat about before we get out of here. We'll be back right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family is banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi? It would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Are you drowning in IRS tax debt? Angela was. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $80,000. Felicia was having health problems, got behind on her taxes, interest and penalties were adding up. She called Civic Tax Relief and saved over $15,000. Civic Tax Relief is a professional tax negotiation firm that can protect you from the IRS. If you're getting collection letters, call Civic Tax Relief for a free consultation. They will go to work helping you discover all the relief programs you may qualify for free. James owed the IRS $37,000. Civic Tax Relief represented him against the IRS, and by the time everything was completed, he did not owe the IRS anything. If you are in trouble with the IRS, call Civic Tax Relief for your free consultation now. 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257. Get a free consultation and real tax relief. Call 800-200-2257. 800-200-2257.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hey, Chicago, this one is for you. Join OG Mr. Rick for the OG Culture Report every Thursday night from 9 to 12 right here on WVON 1690 AM. We're talking the culture, our stories, the streets, politics, entertainment, our struggles, our wins, and the voices that matter. Don't miss it. Every Thursday night, 9 to 12, the OG Culture Report with yours truly, OG Mr. Rick on WVON 1690. That's it. That's all.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes. Installation is easy, and they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. We are talking to Chicago Urban League President Karen Freeman-Wilson, picking up on the Woodstock report. Karen, this is a big question, and why I really wanted to wait, because it begins with obviously, there's a lot going on at the federal level. Cuts to SNAP and Medicaid are currently being phased in. Anti-discrimination laws are being gutted. We have issues around voting, redistricting. What issues are taking center stage at the Chicago Urban League?
Certainly the cuts to SNAP and Medicaid are front and center for Chicagoans. And, I just want to, just for a minute, put the cuts to SNAP in context. The administration has decided in an era where food is exorbitant. That's the first thing. The cost of food has been extraordinarily high. But they have decided that they are going to limit eligibility for these benefits. And they have done it by adding a work requirement, and they've done it to people who will have a difficult time getting back into the workforce. They're focused on people aged 55 to 64. They're focused on people who have children over 13 at home. And I would argue, I think their theory, and I don't even want to attribute thought to them, but their theory is that if you're over 13, you don't need a parent at home. And that could not be further from the truth. And so they're requiring anyone over 13 who has a child over 13 to work. And then they are effectively removing the exemption that Illinois used to have because of our high unemployment rate. So our unemployment rate is 4.8%. And under the federal law previously, we would be able to get a waiver from the federal government from a work requirement. And now we understand that the threshold for the waiver is 10% unemployment rate. There are only 2 metropolitan areas in the country with a 10% unemployment rate. And so it's just unconscionable. It is a war on poor people. And the thing that really, and it's not just is poor, working class, anyone who needs assistance. And it comes as a result of something that they had the audacity to call the big, beautiful bill. And so, it is a problem. It is something that we have to continuously fight against. And the only way you can do that is through effecting a change in the chambers of Congress and the House and the Senate. And, the other thing that we understand is that it is all a part of a plan, as is the gutting of the Voting Rights Act.
Just a lot going on, a lot there, a lot against poor people, a lot against Black people, a lot that's happening from this administration. It's got to keep organizations like the Urban League busy. You are joining with Marc Morial, the president of the National Urban League, our Attorney General Kwame Raoul, and the president of the executive director of the BLC, Kierra Barrett, on the 29th to talk about moving democracy. Tell us about that.
We are, and there are 2 events. The first is the night before. It's a town hall that's directed at community. We know people work. We know that people can't get off on Tuesday morning. So Monday night on the 18th at the Empowerment Center, we're having a town hall that will in part be Essence Fest, but in very many aspects will be a fight for democracy, a fight to make sure that people understand the laws that impact them. We know that the work requirement for many is a part-time work requirement, so we'll be connecting people with jobs, but more importantly, we'll be educating people on the policies that impact them. So at the Monday night, we'll have Africa Porter, we'll have Stevie Vallis, we'll have Reverend Sierra Chamberlain Bates, we'll have Marc again, and we'll have our County Clerk Monica Gordon. The next morning, we'll have Kiana Barrett, Marc Morial, and our own Attorney General Kwame Raoul. And they will talk about the ways that the business community, the nonprofit community, the traditional policy makers who don't make bad policy can really address the things that we see. You know, our premise, Rufus, is that everybody has a voice, and this is the time to use it. This is the essential time to use it in this day and age. And so we want people to come out Monday evening from 5:30 to 7:30. We want people to come out Tuesday morning from 8:30 to 10:30 to think about and to come up with strategies of how you can use your voice to make a difference in this day and age. And, you know, this is what I'll say. Sometimes we have to use our voice locally. I mean, we are in a good position in Illinois, but we know that there are things that are happening at the state level. We know that there are things that are happening locally, that there are times that we have to address, because we can't just agree with everything.
Indeed, particularly not with the things that are going on now. The corporate leadership forum that's taking place with you, Marc, Kwame, and Kiana, that's happening on Tuesday, the 19th at the Empowerment Center, 8331 South Stewart, from 8:30 to 10:30. Where is the town hall taking place on Monday? It's at the same place the evening before, at the Empowerment Center. That's the great thing about having that venue for events. And we want to be at capacity. There will be food, there will be entertainment on the evening before. We want people to come out and, you know, it's not quite a party with a purpose, but it's certainly an entertaining time with an important and essential purpose on Monday evening. Certainly an important gathering. Karen Freeman-Wilson, thank you so much for joining me this morning. Thanks for all that you're doing, and look forward to seeing you next at the beginning of the week. And thanks for coming on to do the Woodstock Report. Thanks so much, Rufus. Right. We appreciate it. Appreciate you. Stay on for a second, Karen. I need to chat with you for a minute. But in the meantime, let's find out from Annette what's going on in headlines and what's in Black Information News. When we come back, a conversation with the Democratic candidate for Congress, LaShawn Ford. We'll be back right after this.
And mild, with temperatures topping out in the 60s on this Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. I'm Annette Vernoyen in the headlines. The Chicago public school system is faced with some tough choices because of their $732 million deficit. Karen Freeman-Wilson, president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League, speaks exclusively with WVON's Rufus Williams this morning about the impact of cuts to the SNAP program, as well as the current Woodstock report that addresses the state of consumer loans. And health officials are now investigating a possible case of hantavirus here in Illinois. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 8:01.
VIN News Now. Authorities have identified the teen killed at a post-prom party in Northwest Indiana. Black 17-year-old Javon Townsend of Michigan City was shot and later died at a hospital. His grandmother spoke to the press.
It hurts, but when it knocks at your door, it's a feeling that you just can't fathom.
Police are offering a $5,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. Maryland's Black Governor Wes Moore signed nearly 250 bills into law at the State House. Key measures include the Utility Relief Act to lower energy costs. He also approved Mason's Law to upgrade dangerous storm drains. And C.J. Wallace, son of Biggie Smalls, has scored a legal win in a defamation case tied to false allegations by a former collaborator. A judge granted Wallace a default judgment after producer Jonathan Hay failed to respond to a lawsuit. Wallace accused Hay of spreading damaging claims involving him and Sean Diddy Combs. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's more with Terry McCready.
Australia says it's joining France and the UK's mission to help secure the Strait of Hormuz.
They trifled with us today. We blew them away. They trifled. I call that a trifle.
President Trump commenting just days ago about the U.S.-Iran ceasefire. Australia's defense minister said the continent is joining a strictly defensive mission that's currently in place to secure shipping through the strait. Australia's announcement comes after Trump suspended Project Freedom, where the U.S. Navy was escorting ships through the strait. Trump has been critical of NATO allies for not helping to open the vital waterway. Florida's Black former Representative Sheila Sherfullis McCormick says she's planning a re-election bid as her legal troubles are mounting ahead of a criminal trial. The announcement comes as South Florida Democrats are pushing back against newly approved congressional redistricting maps to reshape political might in the region, including in the district where the seat is now open following McCormick's resignation. Governor Ron DeSantis emphasizing the Supreme Court ruled District 20 was an unconstitutional racial gerrymander.
We were going to have to redo this because of the racial gerrymandering that was done in southern Florida. And then look at the Florida map that the legislature passed. It's a beautiful, compact map. Very nice map.
But McCormick says she has never shied away from a fight. She stepped down just ahead of a congressional hearing tied to a House Ethics Committee investigation, which found numerous campaign finance and reporting violations, including allegations that McCormick stole millions in federal funds, steering money into her campaign. Sherfullis McCormick joined other Democrats at a recent meeting focused on fighting the new redistricting map approved by the Florida legislature and signed by DeSantis. A new poll shows the Democratic Party has more general support than the GOP ahead of the November midterms. The Atlas National poll centered on which political party's candidate respondents would support if the midterms were held today. According to the poll, 54.6% said they would support the Democratic candidate, while 41% indicated they favored the Republican, and 5.3% said they didn't know or would not vote at all. When looking at respondents' concerns, 49% named inflation and 41% named economy and jobs among the greatest challenges facing the U.S. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Diabetes hits our community hard. Cut back on sugary drinks, stay active, and get your blood sugar checked. Small changes can protect your future.
Your health, our community, we're WVON.
This report is brought to you by True Green. True Green, the easiest way to get a golf course quality lawn. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com and get your first application for $9.95. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. Let the pros do the work so you can enjoy your weekend. Hurry, offer ends May 21st. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith, host of Meeting the Moment. WVON, in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust, developed Meeting the Moment to amplify the voices of nonprofits across Chicagoland, giving them the communication tools they need to expand their reach and turn awareness into action. Right now, our communities are facing real challenges, from economic uncertainty to public safety to access and equity. But in the middle of it all, there are organizations doing the work quietly, faithfully, powerfully. With Meeting the Moment, we'll have honest conversations about the issues shaping our region and, more importantly, the solutions happening on the ground. And each week, we'll feature a Chicagoland nonprofit making a difference. You'll hear their story and find out how you can support their work. Because Meeting the Moment is about more than just awareness. It's about impact. Join the Meeting the Moment movement, a program designed for the doers. For more information, visit WVON.com/meetingthemoment. Listen every Saturday at 12 noon, right here on WVON 1690, the talk of Chicago. Let's meet the moment together. Powered by the Chicago Community Trust.
This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum, from cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
It's Matt McGill.
Matt, we did want to give you a little how do you do today. I'm from McGuire. How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do? How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do? You may think you're upper class, but you're just a horse's. How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do?
Thank you, guys.
McGuire, you're welcome.
Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided the land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids would not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
That outbound trip along the Ryan right now still looks pretty good, but inbound, you're looking at 32 minutes from 95th Street into downtown, slow from 95th to the Skyway, then again from 51st Street all the way to Roosevelt Road. If you're on the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, still looking at about a 20-minute trip to the Ryan. DuSable Lakeshore Drive bumped up to a 22-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson, Hollywood to Monroe, now 19. If you're on the Stevenson, we are looking at about an hour in from I-355 to DuSable Drive. On that outbound trip, much heavier as well. We are right now tracking an accident. It is at Kedzie, causing some delays all the way back to Ashland. That outbound trip now 50 minutes. If you're on the Eisenhower, just above an hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound still 50 minutes. The Kennedy bumped up to 50. In from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport, still a 45-minute trip. Taking a look at your weather on the cloudier side of things, the National Weather Service says temperatures are going to top out right around 60 today. Tonight, 45. Currently, it's 54 at Midway, 54 in Woodlawn, and 54 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The Chicago Blues Festival is more than a festival. It's a celebration of culture, rhythm, and legacy. We'll see you in Millennium Park June 4th through the 7th. We're WVON.
Out with the blues.
Live from the Xfinity Studios, it's the station that America listens to. WVON, Berlin, Chicago. It's Rufus Williams on Chicago's essential storyteller, WVON.
You wonder how I do it. It's just one thing. I'm just cool. Honey, baby, can't you see? Girl, I'm so cool. Ain't nobody bad like me. Hey.
Welcome back. Happy to have my next guest join. For some reason, I don't talk to him often enough, but we'll fix that beginning right here. It is none other than LaShawn K. Ford. Representative Ford is currently in the Illinois House of Representatives, representing the 8th District, which he has done since 2007. This is the district that includes the west side of Chicago, Oak Park, Berwyn, North Riverside, Forest Park, Proviso, Brookfield, LaGrange Park, and Western Springs. LaShawn ran for mayor. He thought to be the leader of Chicago back in 2019. He is currently the Democratic nominee for the U.S. House of Representatives in Illinois' 7th Congressional District. having defeated several candidates in the primary earlier this year. Happy to be able to talk to him right here in this space where he hasn't really kicked up the campaign for the general election this fall and right after winning the previous election. LaShawn Ford, welcome back to WVON.
Thank you. I got to tell you, why do I feel like that's your theme song?
Because it's my theme song. I think that's your song. I think nobody's bad like you. We didn't let it play all the way through because I know you have been on hold for a while, going through all of our commercials. But yeah, you tune in. You'll love the whole theme of it.
No, I listen to you. I'm saying, why do I feel like that's your song for life?
I appreciate that. So how are you doing? You've been pretty busy lately. I saw you even on the news in the last couple of days, still pushing forth with work from down in Springfield while you're getting ready to hopefully get to Washington.
Oh yeah, it's always work to do. No time to really celebrate because we have so many challenges ahead of us. So we still have the work to do here in Springfield. And let me just welcome Madam President Kierra Steele and the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District and their team. They're down here advocating for resources for the county as well. They're here today for legislative breakfast.
Okay, so it's a lot still going on, as I said. Well, I do want to take a minute though, because you just won an election, at least a primary election, and it was not a given the candidates that had shown up. You were endorsed by the incumbent, by Danny Davis. How did you and Congressman Davis develop such a relationship that had him see you as being the purposeful successor to his seat?
I think that when you look at the work that the Congressman Davis has done and the work that I do in Springfield, it aligns. I mean, the congressman has for years had his major focus to be on the people that need help the most. And that's people with criminal background records, people that's on SNAP, people that are poor and struggling in our society. And that's been my whole focus since being elected for 20 years almost in Springfield. It's amazing because when we're together, the congressman gets calls from constituents and he's doing constituent service, and I'm getting calls from constituents doing constituent service. Neither one of us really push constituent service off on the office. We handle it ourselves. And so we really align well with doing work for the people. And so I was blessed to be able to have such I would say a legend in the United States Congress and to endorse me. It was a big factor.
Indeed. Talk about this, because we come to know you once you get into office, and I just given a sense of what your work is and who you represent now, but give us a better sense of who is LaShawn K. Ford, where'd you come from, and what drives you, one, to be in the positions that you've been in, and two, to have the perspectives that you have in doing the work that you do.
The lady I know that has a lot to do with it is my mother. She listens to you all the time. And, she really made major sacrifices and showed me how to actually take care of people. Her message to us growing up was that it doesn't matter how people treat you, you just treat people well. And may not feel good all the time, but as long as you do people right, I think that you will be fine. She always reminded us what's for you is for you. No one could take it away. She tells us that, when you dig a ditch, you better dig two, because the other one is going to be for you. So you got to respect people. And that old Proverbs 26 and 27, people, when you try to throw stones at people, you better watch out. And so just being a person that understands how life works. And growing up on the west side of Chicago, you know, people in my family struggling with many of the challenges that the district faced: substance use disorder, unemployment, criminal justice systems. And, you know, it's in my blood to serve the people that need help the most because of the upbringing that I have.
Good to hear and good to know. We're talking to LaShawn K. Ford. He is the Democratic nominee for the U.S. House of Representatives in Illinois' 7th Congressional District. We'll have more with the representative right after this.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Illinois politicians did it again. They secretly tucked bad policy into the budget. Now, guess who pays the price? Servers, drivers, stylists, workers who depend on tips. Unless Springfield fixes this mistake, your credit and debit cards may not work to pay sales tax or tips starting July 1st. Tell Springfield, stop the credit card chaos law. Learn more at guardyourcard.com/Illinois. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Routine health screenings become even more important with age. Preventative care can help detect health concerns before they become serious. And that's your Healthy Reminder.
This Healthy Reminder is sponsored in part by the South Suburban Chicago, Illinois chapter of The Links, Incorporated, and Vantive.
Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in, retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., host and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance, and they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
They call this one Bill.
Whoa, aliens? Am I in a spaceship?
Affirmative, Bill.
What's with the laser saw?
Relax. We are cutting our bill in half.
What?
An Xfinity mobile transmission says you can cut your bill in half.
Oh, your mobile bill, not me, Bill.
Ah, Xfinity Mobile also says we can try it free for a year. Free.
Yes, with no commitment. Can we put the saw away?
I am reluctant. But we will find another being to bisect.
That's not sci-fi. It's Xfinity Mobile. Xfinity Internet members cut your mobile bill in half. Plus, try Xfinity Mobile free for a year. No commitment. Learn more at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings compares one line of Xfinity Mobile Select to comparable plans from T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T as of 3/24/26. Taxes, fees, extra. $30 monthly discount limited to new mobile customers only. After 12 months, regular rates apply.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Inbound Ryan still heavy at just about 32 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. You're still looking at that 20-minute trip along the Bishop Fort and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial to the drive. As you make your way along DuSable Lakeshore Drive, that is, we're looking at still just about a 22-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson, now 20 from Hollywood to Monroe. The inbound Stevenson now a solid hour from I-355 to DuSable Drive. That outbound accident on the Stevenson at Kedzie still in play. You're looking at a 50-minute trip there. The Eisenhower now an hour 5 from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. Outbound still just about 50. And give yourself 50 minutes on the Kennedy in from O'Hare to downtown. Still a 45-minute trip to the airport. Cloudy and mild today. The National Weather Service says temperatures are going to cap out right around 60 degrees. We're beginning to inch up again. It's 55 at Midway, 55 in Woodlawn, and 55 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Illinois on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Video gambling terminals aren't owned by us. They're owned by out-of-state corporations that have never invested in our neighborhoods or our families. They take the money, we take the hit. These machines kill union jobs and drain pension funds for first responders. When these machines move in, crime goes up, break-ins rise. Our community pays the price. We deserve good union jobs, safer streets, and real investments that stay here and build something lasting. Tell City Council, repeal video gambling terminals. Paid for by Neighborhoods Safety First Association.
Now back to the morning show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Just move on up. Welcome back. We are talking to Illinois Representative LaShawn K. Ford, Democratic candidate for the House of Representatives. Representative Ford, you've been doing a lot in your career. You just talked about your beginnings, and I look at the things that you've been focused on, like social justice, disparities in employment, education, healthcare, looking at affordable housing, expanding veterans protections, looking at helping ex-offenders, among the things that you have been working on. You will now, we expect, get to Congress where you'll be one of 435. And seniority matters given all the things that are going on, and certainly the assault on democracy, the assault on communities, the assault on Black folks from this administration. What do you see as being the things that you can focus on once you get there?
I think immediately continuing to build on the collaborations that we have now. 20 years is a lot of relationship building and continuing to build on that so that we could get things done. And, seniority is important, but when you are able to have the ability to bring people together and get things done and have collaborations with the healthcare community, with the criminal justice community, you could get things done. So we won't be starting from ground zero because of our relationships. Plus, it's great that I've been meeting with leadership in Washington because of Congressman Davis's endorsement and his ability to take me around and people embracing. I've been meeting with congressional members now, so Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. So we hope that that's going to be very beneficial when it comes down to delivering on resources for the 7th Congressional District. I think it would be very helpful if our district is unified and able to fight together, especially during this revolution against Black people that Trump and the Republicans are are attacking us with. And, it's so unfortunate that we have to say his name and bring up the Republicans, because I know that in our community sometimes there's this defense of the Republican Party because the Democrats haven't done enough and haven't fought hard enough to advance Black liberation. And I think that we know now from what we see happening in this administration that Democrats have done stuff and have advanced Black people in America. You just look now at everything that the Republicans are hell-bent on rolling back. And it's obvious that we have made lots of gains in America. And so we have to go in hard fighting to make Democrats do more and fight harder.
Representative, let me ask this question. You're the first elected official that I've spoken to since this last Supreme Court ruling came down. And with so many things that we look at in the moment, with the pushback on our ability on redistricting and what took place with the Voting Rights Act, what do you think we need to do? What can we do to get more people engaged, involved, and understanding the importance of the vote? Everything that I hear and every place that I go and all the people that I've talked with, it comes to the fact that we need to vote like never in overwhelming numbers in these upcoming elections. How do we get people to do that?
I think the Democrats have to message. If we want people that that identify as Democrats, we need to message to them, and we need to listen to Democrats when they tell you that we need to talk more about real issues, about how we're going to make sure that life is affordable, that our young people will have the ability to go to college because it's not out of reach because of the cost. When families tell us that, that it's very hard to get contracts with the government and Democrats are in charge and we don't do anything to make it easier, then it's hard for Democrats to turn out and vote. People like to support, be a part of supporting something that they feel works for them. Even though we know that there's been policies that have worked for people in America, like healthcare, whether we want to admit it or not, Obamacare was a success, but it also wasn't the best that we could have gotten. We could have gotten public options. We could have made healthcare more affordable. But guess what? Because of Obamacare, more people that ordinarily wouldn't be able to have health insurance got Medicaid. And that means that poor people, men, that before Obama passed his healthcare bill, men could not get healthcare. Only women with children could get healthcare. That's a big plus for America. And that's what Democrats did. No Republican voted for that. And if you don't have your health, it's hard to say that you can fight for anything. You can't go to work if you don't have strong physical and mental health. And Democrats actually fought for that. And when you think about how you have Black representation that helped change the course of America, Democrats fought to get Black judges on the bench. Democrats fought to make sure that we're able to have a more just society, not Republicans. Republicans are showing us right now that they want white America back. And so I think that Democrats have a responsibility not only to focus on those that we know vote Democrats, the hard Ds, but we also have to get the independents, and we have to get those Democrats that left the party to go be Republicans. We could get them back, but they have to have a reason to vote for a Democrat. So some will just sit out. We can't afford people to sit out elections at this point. We need everyone to vote. So I would say it's on us as a party to bring them home.
Yeah, and we need to get busy. So appreciate your time. I know you got a lot to do down there in Springfield. I'm glad you were able to come on and spend some time with us here today. Democratic candidate for Congress, Representative LaShawn Ford. Thank you so much for being
Thank you, Rufus.
All right, be well, my friend. Let's find out from Net what's going on in the news. When we come back, a conversation with Damon Cates. We're talking about adoptions and what's going on. So a lot to cover. We'll be back right after this.
Cloudy and mild today. Temperatures are expected to top out right around 60 degrees. Good morning. I'm Anna Flournoy, and here's what's happening. The Chicago public school system is faced with some tough choices because of their $732 million deficit. This comes as lower enrollment, and according to reports, teaching positions may end up on the chopping block. Later this morning, the city's Board of Education is set to call on state lawmakers for help. Meanwhile, Mayor Brandon Johnson says he's turning to Springfield for help as well. New this hour, now that those so-called predatory payday loan companies are virtually a thing of the past, according to the Woodstock report, folks are much better off. Last hour, in an exclusive WVON interview with Rufus Williams, Karen Freeman-Wilson, president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League, says Illinois residents have actually saved more than $1 billion now that they're gone and under new lending guidelines.
Prior to the payday lenders leaving, they were borrowing, folks were borrowing $1 billion and paying exorbitant interest rates up to 400%. Now they're borrowing $1.4 billion, but the interest rate is capped at 36%. That's good news. That's a win. That's more money in people's pockets.
She also talked about the impact of recent cuts to the SNAP supplemental food program, calling the cuts a war on poor people.
Is poor, working class, anyone who needs assistance. And it comes as a result of something that they had the audacity to call the big, beautiful bill. And so, it is a problem. It is something that we have to continuously fight against.
The state of Illinois estimates that 120,000 people could lose their benefits. Well, apparently 8% of people on electronic monitoring in Cook County are AWOL. That's according to a new report from the state's attorney's office. According to the report, more than 300,000 people are in the program, with nearly 250 accused offenders right now out of compliance. This report comes after several violent incidents involving defendants on electronic monitoring, such as Alfonso Talley, who's accused of shooting and killing Chicago police officer John Bartholomew and critically wounding his partner at Swedish Hospital last month. That's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 8:35.
Video gambling terminals aren't owned by us. They're owned by out-of-state corporations that have never invested in our neighborhoods or our families. They take the money, we take the hit. These machines kill union jobs and drain pension funds for first responders. When these machines move in, crime goes up, break-ins rise. Our community pays the price. We deserve good union jobs, safer streets, and real investments that stay here and build something lasting. Tell City Council, repeal video gambling terminals. Paid for by Neighborhoods Safety First Association.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be 1,000,000 miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being 1,000,000 miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson on the line.
I saw a meme that said America will come and get you. When it's about the oil, they bombed in Iran, they've got oil. They bombed in Iraq, they've got oil. They bombed in Libya, they've got oil. And now they bombed in Venezuela. They've got oil. And they even came after Diddy because he had oil.
Come on, Congressman. What a great setup. That was good. That was good.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes. Installation is easy. And they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
That inbound trip along the Ryan now 30 minutes from 95th Street into downtown. Slow in the usual spots, 95th Street to the Skyway, then again from 51st Street to Roosevelt Road. If you're on the Bishop Ford, you're bumped up to just about 21 minutes from I-80-94 to the Ryan, 18 along Tuskegee Airmen Memorial from I-80. USAMBO Lakeshore Drive, still a 20-minute trip from 67th Street to Jackson, Hollywood to Monroe, now 20 as well. The Stevensons, just shy of an hour from I-355 to DuSable Drive. Outbound, still dealing with that earlier accident at Kedzie. We're looking at a 40-minute trip out now. If you're on the Eisenhower, just about an hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. Outbound, still 50 minutes. Still looking at a 50-minute trip along the Kennedy in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, now 42. Taking a look at our weather, just kind of cloudy. Temperatures are expected to cap out at around 60. The National Weather Service says we're going to level off at 45 tonight. Still 55 at Midway, 55 in Roseland, and 55 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Keep your eyes on the road and both hands on the steering wheel. We will not be held responsible for any accidents. It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Who is to blame? Is to blame. We can't stop living. We can't stop living. Oh, oh. Live for life. But let live, everybody. Live life for the children. Live life for the children. Oh, for the children. See, let's save the children. Let's save all the children. Save the babies.
Welcome back. Let me put the last conversation, at least the last part of it, in a bow. In the last election, in the last presidential election, 89 million eligible voters did not vote. Elections have consequences. So there were people like Killer Mike, Ice Cube, Dr. Umar Johnson, Snoop Dogg were telling people to sit out the election, suggesting that both sides are the same and telling people not to vote. 89 million eligible voters did not vote. I'm not suggesting that they are responsible for all of them, but if they're responsible for any of them, then that's problematic. The consequences of not voting is that we end up with higher prices on everything, mass deportations, healthcare cuts, attacks on public education, assaults on democracy and the Constitution. We have billionaires who are winning everything. We're talking about the cuts and SNAP benefits, everything. You're hard pressed to find anything that's good coming out of this administration. Elections have consequences. It's important that we don't just sit back and complain about the results, but we participate in the process. Your voice is your vote. It matters. You must exercise it because your silence has consequences. Now, about the children. Happy to have joined me this morning, Damon Cates. We're talking about National Foster Care Awareness Month and One Hope United. Damon, good morning and welcome back to WVON.
Be back with you.
Oh, good to have you. Let's talk about National Foster Care Awareness Month. Why is this an important time to highlight the work that's happening here?
Well, sure. Rufus, I don't know if you were aware, but almost 400,000, in fact, 391,000 youth in our country at any one moment in time are in the foster care system. 16,000 or more are in the foster care system here in Illinois. And it's just an opportunity for us to make sure that we're shining a light on the importance of foster care, the foster care parents who are willing to open their homes and provide safe stability for youth in foster care. And then also just to bring awareness to what our youth in the foster care system face and some of the challenges and how the community can wrap around them and best support them.
That's a huge number. How do children end up in foster care?
A couple of ways. One, sometimes the family finds itself in crisis, or the parents just aren't able to care for their children on a day-to-day basis. So working closely with our partners and with our friends at the Department of Children and Family Services, we first do whatever we can to intervene to prevent youth from going into the foster care system with lots and lots of services and connections to resources. But if that ends up not, providing the assistance that's necessary to keep the family stabilized, then we rely on foster parents to be able to provide that temporary assistance while the family gets back on track and the youth can go back to and be reunited with their families.
Damon, do you have a perspective on the current demographics of the foster care system? Who's there? Are they babies? Are they teens? Are they Black? Are they other? What are the demographics?
Yeah, most of our youth in the foster care system are of color, and yes, it varies across the entire continuum, from newborns all the way to those who are 17 and about to age out of the foster care system. Most states, including Illinois, do offer what we call extended foster care, which helps bridge the gap from when they become an adult at 18 to finding more stable housing, access to employment, and other things like a bridge. And so the foster care benefits extend beyond 18 in Illinois. So some could be technically in the foster care system as old as 21, 22, and beyond.
And there's a reason we're talking to you about this, and you're so familiar with the numbers because of One Hope United and your work in foster care. For those who may not be familiar, talk to us a bit about One Hope United and the work you do there.
Well, we've been around for 130 years. We're headquartered here in Chicago. We started as we don't use these terms as much anymore, thankfully, but we started as a traditional orphanage in Downers Grove and have expanded to serving youth and families across the state of Illinois through a continuum of services, including the foster care that we've talked about. We also operate early learning centers and have mental health services for youth and families as well. And through all of the services that we provide both here in Illinois, and then we do have services that we provide in Florida, we're helping bring services to more than 10,000 youth and families annually.
That's a phenomenal and fantastic number. And having that level of longevity says a lot of things. One, it says you're necessary, but it also says we have some real challenges that families have with children that ultimately need to be there.
That's right.
What is it that we should know, and how is it that people who want to understand more about One Hope United and foster care, where can they find more information?
Well, definitely on our website, onehopeunited.org. There's lots of information there, both on how to support the organization, but we also have lots of resources available for those who may be interested in becoming a foster parent and what that journey looks like and the important role that it plays in our community. Also, this is Foster Care Awareness Month, so we've got a program underway that I think also brings some attention to what foster care awareness, or what foster care is, and the importance of it.
Let's talk about that. Sip and Share for Foster Care. What is this exactly?
Well, we wanted to present an easy, approachable way for those who might be interested in learning more about foster care or supporting foster care to be able to participate. So we partnered with many restaurants in the Chicagoland area for a program called Sip and Share for Foster Care, where our restaurant partners offer menu item, a specific one. And for those customers who come to the restaurant or to the establishment and order one of those items, $1 of the proceeds come back to One Hope United.
Fantastic. We're talking with Damon Cates. He is the president, CEO. He runs One Hope United, a significant worker in the space of foster care, having been there for more than 100 years. Not Damon, but One Hope United. We'll be back more with Damon Cates right after this.
More of the morning show with Rufus Williams coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. It's D.L. Hughley.
Tucker Carlson took it to the extreme and apologized to the electorate. I think Tucker knows that an 80-year-old demented man who's in his pants might not be the future anymore. I don't know that it is regret, but I think that he's done something I haven't seen very many people do, which is just take the onus on themselves and say they apologize and to see what they could do to make it right.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
At Fifth Third Bank, being part of the community means investing in its future. From supporting local businesses to funding neighborhood initiatives, we're here to create lasting opportunities. It's our commitment to Chicago. This is banking, a Fifth Third better. Learn how we're making a difference at 53.com. That's 53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Bond TV brings stories in full bloom. See Martha's Vineyard versus DeSantis, a powerful documentary on politics, power, and human lives colliding, following migrant families fighting for justice beyond the headlines. And discover even more featured content on Bond TV, films, series, and stories that keep the culture connected. Stream Bond TV anytime on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Bond TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
Hello, Chicagoland. This is your main man, Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman. I'm inviting all of my friends, associates, and colleagues to tune in to WVON, the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM for the Tio, Mr. Ceasefire Hardiman Show. This show will cover all the hottest topics, including politics, reducing gun violence, and so much more, right here every Sunday morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 AM, WVON. Thank you.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Right now, we're tracking a couple slow spots along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. Right now, stop and go northbound from the Stevenson to Monroe. Your complete travel time from 67th Street to Jackson, 21 minutes. If you're making your way from Hollywood to Monroe, expect a 20-minute trip there. Stop and go from Montrose to North Avenue. The Ryan in from 95th Street into downtown, still that 30-minute trip as you make your way along the Bishop Ford, 20 minutes in from I-8094 to the Ryan. Tuskegee Airmen Memorial will take you 18 minutes in. If you're on the Stevenson, you're looking at 50 minutes there from I-355 to DuSable Drive, outbound 40, still dealing with that earlier accident at Kedzie. The inbound side of the Eisenhower, still about an hour from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. Traveling outbound will take you 50 minutes. And the Kennedy will also take you 50 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, a slow-moving 42-minute trips. Taking a look at our weather, partly cloudy skies today. The National Weather Service says we're going to top out somewhere around 60 degrees. Tonight, leveling off now at 44. Currently, it's 55 at Midway, 55 in West Garfield Park, and 55 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Fernoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If you're not out of the bed yet, then what are you waiting for? It's the WVON Morning Show with Rufus Williams on 1690 WVON.
Stand by me, stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, no I won't shed a tear, just as long as you stand by me. And darling,
Such appropriate music for the topic. May is National Foster Care Awareness Month. We're speaking this morning with the CEO of One Hope United, Damon Cates, who works right in this space. Damon, before the break, we were talking about the Sip and Share for Foster Care campaign, a way for people to visit their favorite restaurants and get some money back into the system. Talk more about what makes it such an easy way for people to give back to foster care.
Yeah, I think it's just such a small opportunity that can have a really big impact for us, for those to, go to one of these restaurants. I think dine out, have a nice evening, enjoy company with friends at a nice restaurant or spot. And then just to know that that act and that support is coming back to support youth in foster care and One Hope United's programming.
Indeed. So talk about how the funds from this campaign would directly support youth in foster care.
Yeah, so for generous gifts and generous contributions from our partners, we're able to do things like create additional, we have substantial funding through the Department of Children and Family Services and other funders for the work that we do. But as is often the case, it covers some of the basic needs, but our fundraising efforts really help us provide even more resources like training and extra support for our foster parents. We're able to do more innovative work and expand some of the activity. I've been on your show before talking about our Hope House model. That is continuing to expand in Illinois, and this provides some much needed startup funds for us to be able to provide really strong, stable housing for youth who are the most vulnerable in the foster care system.
Indeed. Now, for people who might want to help in any way, you mentioned about those who may want to become foster parents, ways in which to participate financially or provide any other support. What would you say for someone who wants to help but isn't sure where to start?
Well, there's again, there's plenty of information on our website for them to be able to sort of get a sort of a topical view of what might be available for them or how they might best plug in. And then there's also just contact information up to and including my email address. And I would love to hear from any listener that would like to learn more about One Hope United Services, how they can get involved and engaged or to give back financially.
And what's the website address that people can go to for that information?
Yep, all one word, onehopeunited.org.
Fantastic. Damon, when we start to think about, coming back to Sip and Share, are all restaurants participating, or where can people find these participating?
Yeah, again, on our website, we have a listing. This is our first time doing it, and I'm so pleased that 30 different restaurants are in and around the Chicagoland area have participated. It's our intention to do it again next year. It's already off to a great start, so we intend to run the program again next year, and we expect even more participants and more restaurants to sign up for it. But if you go to our website, we've got lots of information there. And then when you go to the restaurant, they'll help identify the items that they've listed for patrons to take advantage of, and then have those funds come back to One Hope United.
Fantastic. Damon Cates, CEO, One Hope United. Thank you so much for the work that you do, and thanks for coming along with us to share.
Well, thank you again for having us on. We really appreciate it.
All right. Be well, my friend.
You too. Take good care. Bye-bye.
All right. In the few minutes that we have left, I want to just remind folks of a couple things. One, you've heard some of the promos for Bound and Woven. You heard yesterday my conversation with Damario Solomon Simmons about Redeem a Nation. We are rolling them out with vigor each week from now until, I don't know, at least until the end of next month. There'll be 2 a week that come up. So if you've already fallen behind, you need to go and catch up. This is really a way to give you some real good opportunities for literacy this summer, and some really great works that we've got there, some great conversations with some great people. Kind of broke down the list. So another one is coming up. Damon's Redeem a Nation came up yesterday. Another will come up tomorrow. Our intention is every Tuesday and Thursday, there will be a new Bound and Woven episode for you to check out. So don't miss them. I did them, and I'm enjoying them immensely every time I have a chance to hear them. Yesterday, I told you I was going to be in those streets. So I was at the Chicago Minority Supply Development Corporation. They've been running a series on succession planning for folks in business. And yesterday followed the conversation that we had in the morning with Kamini around financial matters that business people should be considering. I hope that, well, you should have been there. A lot of you weren't, and you should have been there. A lot of people were there, but I just know the kind of information that was being shared yesterday by the 2 people on the panel, one from the Northern Trust, the other one from JP Morgan Chase, was just really critical and interesting information that most entrepreneurs need to have and most do not think about as you're going on the business of being in business. So there's another one coming up in June 12th. You'll want to be there. I'll tell you more about it when we come to that moment. And Titus, while the Bears, we don't know whether the Bears going to play in Chicago or not, but the Fire will be playing here. And they've got a new name they got a sponsor for the Fires for their new stadium.
I just saw it. I can't believe it. I literally just saw it on GN.
McDonald's is going to be the name over the new Fire stadium.
So when you were doing your interview, I looked up at the television and saw it. I'm like, McDonald's Park? What? Oh, you can do better than that. So
look,
I think it just created a whole new segment that I want to do on the Fundamentals on Friday, and go around the leagues and name all the terrible sports stadium names.
Well, look, man, if nothing else, you can get good fries.
Exactly.
If nothing else, you can get good fries. Annette, as always, we appreciate you for giving us all the information you do that gets us through the day. And Titus, thanks for keeping all that stuff together. I know it's easier when I'm here. At least it's easier for me when I'm here. So I hope it's easier for you too. So we'll do it tomorrow. We got a lot more good stuff coming up for you. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. And I'll ask you, as I always do, as you go through the course of the day, you will come across people who are dealing with things that you know absolutely nothing about. So please be kind, always. And with that, Annette, tell us what's in the headlines, and T-Dub, take us home.
Partly cloudy skies as temperatures top out at around 60 degrees on this Wednesday, May 13th, 2026. I'm in Illinois, and in the headlines, health officials are now investigating a possible case of hantavirus here in Illinois. The Chicago public school system is faced with some tough choices because of their $732 million deficit. And Freeman-Wilson, president and CEO of the Chicago Urban League, speaks exclusively with WVON's Rufus Williams this morning about the impact of cuts to the SNAP program, as well as the current Woodstock report that addresses the state of consumer loans. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 9:01.
VIN News Now. Authorities have identified the teen killed at a post-prom party in Northwest Indiana. Black 17-year-old Javon Townsend of Michigan City was shot and later died at a hospital. His grandmother spoke to the press.
It hurts, but when it knocks at your door, it's a feeling that you just can't fathom.
Police are offering a $5,000 reward for tips leading to an arrest. Maryland's Black Governor Wes Moore signed nearly 250 bills into law at the State House. Key measures include the Utility Relief Act to lower energy costs. He also approved Mason's Law to upgrade dangerous storm drains. And C.J. Wallace, son of Biggie Smalls, has scored a legal win in a defamation